Hey, Steve Zook, welcome back to Polkzoo Channel and Steve Zook Guitars. Hey, the name of this video is why buy the Loar Archtop from me? The simple answer is because I actually play the guitar and own the guitar that you're going to buy. Every other company you buy from, most of them just take your order, take your money, have it drop shipped from the factory or from the warehouse in either Hayward, California, or in Nashville or in Tennessee area. So I actually invest in these guitars up front. I have them here in my office. I play them. I go over them. I inspect them. I make sure it's a guitar that I would be really happy to buy myself. And this is huge, folks. This is huge. So really think about that. This is I recently got a special on these. This is the Loar LH600, and let me tell you that the 600s are amazing guitars, not just the 700, but also the 600, which I can sell for $1,000, which is 25% off retail, so that's called MAP, $1,000. They do not come with a case, but I got a special deal on a couple black ones, and they sound amazing because the carvers keep getting better and better. They're getting more intuitive. They're getting better at the violin voicing, which is a way that they carve the top so the guitar speaks and has more kind of a more bloom, more woody reverb, more overtones, just has a better voice, more vintage, overtones and more holographic bloom. But anyway, this guitar here, and the strings are stretching on this, so I'm not going to fight this too much here, but because they're new strings on here. But anyway, this one I will do for $649. I've never sold a 600 for less, and the block actually grows on you, and there's some. I think it actually puts more focus on the tone coming out of the F holes. It's kind of hard to explain, but I've heard that. I've even heard it on 175s unplugged that have a little bit thicker paint. I think there's something to it. But it really sounds beautiful. The top still vibrates wonderfully, but it seems to have a certain something to the physics of the paint and everything that I feel forces more tone out of the F-hole. But anyway, I normally sell the 600s. I've never sold one for less than $1,000 because my dealer agreement, I'm not supposed to sell for less than MAP. And anybody who's selling for less than MAP, there's a reason. There's something wrong, so you shouldn't buy it. The Loar Archtops are a huge, huge value, folks. The people are going to look down the road 20 years and be like, why didn't I buy a couple, But this I'll do for $649. The case would be a little extra, and that's $649 for an all-solid hand-carved archtop. Again, why buy a Loar Archtop from me? Because I actually play the one you're going to buy. Most companies just take your money. They have it drop shipped right from the factory. I actually own the guitar. I buy it up front. It lives in my office for a while. I don't play these much, but I play them enough to get a good feel for them and make sure it's a guitar I would be excited to own, and that's huge. So, and I'm not trying to brag, but I'm an archtop expert. I dealt in tons of archtops for over 10 years, high end, low end, medium end, everything. I really, really know archtops. I know guitars really well too, but archtops is my really strong suit. And I've spent, hundreds of thousands of dollars buying them and sold, sold a lot of archtops. So I really know them. My ear really knows them. The Loar Archtops are the real deal, folks. They are the real deal. And to get an all solid, if this were made by the big G company, it would probably list for $7,900, and you might be getting it for, for $6,900 or something. This guitar, all solid hand carved archtop, violin voice top to make it more have better overtones, more woody reverb, and more kind of orchestral bloom and balance, and kind of what I like to call holographic quality, where the sound kind of blooms as it leaves the guitar. $649 for an all solid wood hand carved archtop. That is a tremendous value, folks. And don't take that for granted. I'm keeping my playing simple here. Can you hear that ring? And this hasn't even been played 5 minutes. The more you play this guitar, the better it will sound. like as I'm playing that little diminished scale, I'm not trying to be musical right now, I'm just trying to let you hear the guitar. It starts to swell, and the notes take on a quality that is extremely difficult to explain, but it's kind of an exploding mid and mid bass and the treble and just a nice orchestral balance. But anyway, that's the difference. Why buy a Loar Archtop from me? Because I actually have the guitar and play it and go over it. Most companies don't. They just take your money. They have it shipped from one of the warehouses. So that's huge. Right? And if you want to, if you want information on the guitar ladder system, either email me or call. But it's really your one opportunity to take a quantum leap on guitar and understanding guitar and music on a very intuitive level, because I teach the subconscious mind. I don't put music in a box. What I do is I provide a shortcut for you by getting rid of all the fat. I've trimmed the fat off. I don't give you a bunch of busy work. I just give you exactly what you need to get your musical ear to wake up. And they've proven through studying the brain that there's billions of neural pathways, little synapses in the way that like cells connect with each other, and there's an area of the brain that's very centralized to music, and we wake up that area, and the results with students and guitar ladder customers has just been absolutely phenomenal. It's a pretty exciting thing. I always think about what Joe Pass used to say, is that when you do all downstrokes, you get a lot of definition, a lot of tone. But this isn't a tremendous. I'll go $649 on this. If you want a case, we'll have to go a little extra and some shipping. But this solid wood archtop for that kind of money is incredible. These are new strings, so I'm not going to sit here and fight it right now, but I've barely played this guitar, so it's stretching out a little bit. But this just sounds unbelievable. It's an all solid hand carved archtop for $649. I think the list is around 14 or 15. Never sold a 600 for less than 1,000. Every time somebody buys a 600 from me, almost everybody says the same thing. They say it sounds like a $4,000, $5,000 guitar, and they're just absolutely stoked. But I got a couple black ones on a special price. I'll do $649 on this one. I'm trying to decide whether to add the other one to my collection or maybe give it as a gift or whatever. I'm not quite sure. But this is a lot of guitar, and I'm not kidding, folks. It's like, we think, gee, why didn't we buy, an old Martin, 25, 30 years ago? Would have been a great situation. It's still relative. I mean, this is one of the few opportunities, and in my opinion, and many other people too. I have collectors who bought and have $500,000 collections who proudly purchased 2 or 3 Loars from me and have them sitting next to a guitar worth 40 grand. This is the real deal. They sound incredible. They use the magic of the old 30s, 40s, and 50s Epiphone master builds that were made in New York by European luthiers who had backgrounds carving violin tops and cellos and upright basses and mandolins. They really knew what they were doing. So this Loar Archtop combines the magic of the old 30s, 40s, and 50s master built Epiphones with the magic of the old and the good points of the old, like L7s and L5s, and the best L5s were the 1929 and then early 30s, because the big 17-inch advanced L5s were just overbuilt. They were too thick. They have kind of a dry sound. They're beautiful guitars, but they're just overbuilt. Anybody who really knows guitars knows that. The L7, while supposedly more of a budget model, was actually a better guitar, but they didn't dial in their violin voicing that well. They didn't have that kind of bloom and the bark like this does here. This just sounds unbelievable. Kind of hard to put this down, really. But yeah, these are new strings, so they're stretching out, but you can hear this tone. For some reason, right at this point, it really... Like I said, these are new strings, so they're stretching out, but yeah. Anyway, I've got 2 of these. I'll do one for $6.49 plus shipping, case a little bit more. I'll give you a killer price on a case. But yeah, this is a really nice guitar, and the black kind of grows. It looks really attractive sitting on the stand or on a wall. But I mean, an all solid. I can hear myself inside the guitar. All solid hand carved archtop for $6.49 is kind of a no-brainer. All right, folks, take care. If you really want to grow, invest in $199 in the guitar ladder system. Don't overthink it. Go to stevezookguitars.com, order it. It works, and you're really going to make some tremendous growth if you don't fight it and you're just positive and you do the work and don't rush yourself and don't focus on results.